Did you know that despite the recent drop, Tesla stock is still a good investment? Famous businessman Kevin O'Leary says as much. If you buy Tesla stock now, when it's down, he says you'll be a millionaire in a year. Don't miss out on learning the motivation behind his statement. Keep watching. Many shareholders are worried about the recent negative trajectory of Tesla shares. The stock's credibility among analysts and shareholders began to erode. Many market watchers and investors continue to have a positive outlook on the stock. The price of Tesla shares has increased by 1.6%, reaching $714.84. Because of this, it's likely that other investors aren't very concerned about the stock price swings. Watch today's video to learn why Kevin O'Leary thinks you should buy Tesla stock now to make $1 million in a year. Recent stock market results reflect rising hopes that China's economic reform will stimulate economies around the world. Stock prices are driven by a multitude of factors, but ultimately the price at any one instant is due to the supply and demand at that point in time in the market. Stock prices vary every day by market forces. This indicates that supply and demand affect stock prices. The demand for a stock drives its price higher if there are more buyers than sellers. If, on the other hand, more people are looking to sell than buy, then the stock's price will decline as supply exceeds demand. Supply and demand is a simple concept to grasp. What is tough to fathom is what makes individuals appreciate a particular stock and dislike another stock. Understanding what types of news are good and bad for a business is essential. Almost any investor you approach will have an opinion on how to solve this problem. According to the dominant school of thought, the value of a firm is reflected in its stock price. Earnings and profitability from the sale of products and services are the fundamental drivers of stock values. This includes the stock's chart patterns, momentum, and the trading and investing habits of traders and investors, all of which are considered technical considerations. Stock prices are determined by both fundamental and technical variables. Inflation, market and peer economic strength, alternatives, incidental transactions, demography, trends, and liquidity are all examples. A variety of elements determine the success of various types of investors. Traders and investors with a shorter time horizon are more likely to use and even emphasize technical analysis. Fundamentals are the top priority for long-term investors, but they also know that technical aspects are crucial. Strong fundamentalist investors can make peace with technical factors. Market sentiment is typically subjective, biased, and obstinate, yet you can make a sound judgment about a stock's future growth possibilities, and the future may even support your estimates. However, the market can be overly focused on a particular piece of news, which can keep the stock unnaturally high or low, and it may take a while for other investors to catch on to the fundamentals. T. Thomas Terrence Kevin O'Leary, or just Kevin O'Leary as he is known, is a Canadian businessman, entrepreneur, author, politician, and television personality. Mr. Wonderful, as he is called on ABC's Shark Tank, is the chairman of O'Shares Investment Advisors and Beanstalks and a strategic investor. O'Leary started O'Leary Mortgages and O'Leary Ventures, a private early-stage venture capital investment firm. Books by O'Leary and Wine by O'Leary are two of the company's most well-known products. O'Leary claims that Tesla is his best-performing investment so far this year. In 2020, he attributes his success to his son, Trevor, who in 2019 persuaded him to invest in the company. Sometimes you have to look outside the box, Trevor told him, and he remembered his experience as an intern at Tesla, so he persuaded him that the company wasn't making automobiles, but rather data technology. An absurdly high price tag of $1 trillion. According to O'Leary, this is a minor issue in the realm of officialdom. He also mentioned that the market is factoring in 825 basis point rises from the Fed. He claims that investors are unnerved by the recent and ongoing events in the world, such as the COVID-19 outbreak and the confrontation between Russia and Ukraine. Despite this, he believes that the Fed is posing with a hard stick when it comes to inflationary concerns. To him, there has been no deceleration. He said that he receives weekly sales tier sheets from the roughly 36 private companies in which he has invested, and that these have not yet begun to decline. Pedals slowly. O'Leary highlighted that he would be the first to notice the onset of inflation or a recession if it were to occur, but that he has not noticed either as of yet. Would you take O'Leary up on his suggestion and buy Tesla stock despite the recent drop? Share your thoughts with us by clicking the comments button below. I believe that at least half of inflation is temporary in nature. Therefore, I am not as pessimistic as the experts, and my investments reflect this. With a 2% plus inflation rate over the next decade, say it's 6% for simplicity's sake, I would never buy that bond. That's just dumb. That's a surefire way to have yourself wiped out. He said he thinks that it is better to keep the course on stocks with the pricing power in huge firms. He explained that this is his method of operation during periods of inflation. He claims that 3 inflationary cycles can be retraced. He elaborated by saying that organizations with the ability to charge higher prices for their products and services, as well as those with strong business strategies and low debt loads, tend to do very well. This is why, he said, he would rather own shares in the company itself than bonds issued by the same entity. If I have a long duration bond and inflation is 6% and I'm paying 3.2%, which is sort of the average of corporate paper right now, that's a terribly poor place to put capital to work, and I know with 100% certainty when I'm going to get paid back. Therefore, I prefer to invest in stocks. O'Leary once observed that investors should put their money to work when everyone else is selling. He likened it to the herd mentality of lemmings. In psychology, the term lemming effect is used to describe a phenomena in which large groups of people behave in a predictable way for no other reason than that it is the norm among their peers. Even though spending on technology has been slashed in half, company expansion rates have not slowed. O'Leary murmured, seemingly in wonder. According to him, there's no sign that growth rates have halted in mega-cap internet titans. I consider expansion, FCF, and the financial statement. I rarely pay attention to conversations. In this case, I focus on the money coming in. That's the crux of it. O'Leary's self-assurance in the market is likely due to this fact. The most recent transaction price is often used when discussing a stock's price. Therefore, the price changes every time a new transaction occurs, unless the transaction is for the same price as the preceding one. Major stocks move millions of times every day, and the stock price could shift with each of those transactions. Penny stocks with low trading volume may only exchange hands a few thousand times per day, leading to less frequent price fluctuations. The ups and downs of stock values, however, are to be expected and accepted. Perhaps Kevin O'Leary's recommendation to buy Tesla shares despite the current downturn was motivated by the opportunity to become a millionaire in a single year. Even though Tesla stock has been on a downward spiral since the COVID-19 pandemic began in 2020, the company still managed to produce over 900,000 automobiles in 2020 and has plans to boost that number by 50% in 2021. In addition, on December 28 of the next year, 2021, it was announced that Musk had disclosed selling over 10% of his investment in Tesla, or 16.4 billion shares, since early November. In addition, Tesla's net income for the first quarter of 2022 was $3.3 billion, a quarterly record that surpassed Wall Street forecasts as revenue increased by 81% year over year to $18.8 billion. That being said, anyone in a position to buy Tesla shares should do so immediately. Of course, only if they think it will be a good return on their money. After performing a comprehensive analysis of this industry, keep in mind that investing in stocks comes with certain dangers. A healthy return, nevertheless. At the end of the day, the option and the possibility remain to be yours. Visit our channel and check out some of our other films if you like what you see here.